Welcome to my madness as I talk a little bit about, well, you could call it political ideology, and it's important. Liberty is important. The ability to live a life that you determine, where you are the author, is important to me, and it should be important to you. I'm going to draw this from one of NPR's articles. This particular one is Trump is not joking about third term though Constitution says he can't serve. And they write that Trump 78 said in the interview that he was serious about seeking a third term in office. Trump confirmed one method. Vice President J.D. Vance wins the White House in a future election and then hands over the presidency. However, in the 22nd Amendment, it also says that those who are not eligible for the presidency or for the president's position cannot be vice president. Therefore, according to the amendment, this cannot happen. So that approach will not work. The Constitution's 22nd Amendment, which I just mentioned, prohibits anyone from being elected president more than twice. And changing the Constitution requires a two-thirds vote in Congress or a constitutional convention in which 34 states need to request. 34 states need to make this request for this to be possible. Or two-thirds of the Congress vote to actually what they will do is they would put together a separate amendment that would repeal the 22nd Amendment. And in order for that to pass, they would need a two-thirds vote. And Representative Andy Ogles from Tennessee proposed amending the 22nd Amendment to clear the way for Mr. Trump's third term just days after his inauguration. So what is the 22nd Amendment about? Well, they tell us that the 22nd Amendment was ratified by Congress in 1951 after Franklin D. Roosevelt was elected president for a fourth time. The only president to serve, 16 years? Well, that's a long time. And no, he did not serve all of that time consecutively. There was also another Roosevelt that was president also. Now, the other thing we have to consider is Mr. Musk has also made it clear in a previous interview that anyone in Congress, any seated Republican congressman, and probably Democrat as well, who did not follow the president's objectives, he would bring the full force of his ability to replace them with an opponent who was more conducive to his way of thinking. Now, mind you, this has already been put to test in Wisconsin with the judicial vote. And that didn't work. All that means is that Mr. Musk would have to change his strategy, would have to do things differently. That's all that means. That does not mean that it won't happen, particularly with the midterm elections. And it's right now that we don't have to worry, but it's what happens in those midterm elections. Could he influence the vote to bring in more Republicans who will follow Mr. Trump's lead and then clear the way for another term? Right now, it's a possibility. And the sad thing is that we are a two-party system. Republicans, Democrats. It's always been a two-party system. Always. And I encourage us to somehow develop a third party that is not caught up in these extreme ideologies. I've investigated these other political parties, and they're caught up in these extreme ideologies that are harmful to the citizens of the United States. What we are facing now, what we are experiencing, is harmful to the citizens of the United States. It's this way or nothing. That is not the way to govern a country. That is what they call autocracy, or as Mr. Sanders would say, an oligarchy. And if you want to know what happens with oligarchies, explore the politics and the events that occurred during Mr. Reagan's time, they took down that wall. And then Russia began to move towards a democracy. Look what happened. Explore what happened there. They used the term oligarchy very loosely. We don't want that to happen here. At least I don't. And I can only hope that others don't. But one of our problems is that we don't fully understand how our system of government operates. When I was in high school, one semester, the only thing I got out of that semester was that we had a revolution, we declared independence, and our government had 3 branches. That was it. That was it. There needs to be more time to impress upon us the importance of our participation in our government, because those who choose not to participate in the vote, they support the majority. It is as it is written in Revelations. Because you are neither hot nor cold, I spit you out. Those who choose not to participate in our system have surrendered their vote and support of whoever the majority is, and they bear more of the poor management of the country than the rest of us, because they don't participate. They literally ask for all of what happens to them from the government. They literally asked for it to happen to them, begged for it to happen to them. And why? Because they don't fully understand their role in a government by the people. Ours is a democratic republic, meaning we elect representatives. We give them the power. And I have to wonder if those people who have been elected are even concerned about the citizens who elected them. Or is it that Republicans are only concerned about Republicans and Democrats are only concerned about Democrats? That is crap. They were elected to office. They should be concerned about everybody, not just who voted for them, but everybody. Well, that's enough of my rant. I hope this is useful, beneficial, and enjoy yourself today.